I'm 32 years old and going to file a divorce with my 33-year-old wife. This is all because I found out that my 5-year-old son isn't actually my biological child. A few weeks ago, I learned something shocking from my wife's sister. She told me that 6 years ago, my wife admitted to her that she had slept with her best friend while drunk. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I was with our son at the time, and I rushed to get a paternity test done because I needed to know the truth. Finding out shook me to the core. For 6 years, my wife had kept this from me, and it made me question everything. Could I trust her? Was our life together a lie? These thoughts raced through my mind, mixing with feelings of betrayal and hurt. Those days were tough. I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened and what it meant for our future. We had built a life together, but now it felt fragile and uncertain. Talking to friends and family helped me a lot. Their support reminded me that I wasn't alone in dealing with this. It gave me strength to face the situation head on. Now, I'm at a point where I need to figure out what comes next. It's not easy, but I'm determined to find the truth and decide what's best for me and my son. This experience has been painful, but I know it will make me stronger in the end. A week passed, and then came the day I received the results of the paternity test. Seeing those results was like having the ground give way beneath me. They confirmed what I feared most: my son, whom I had loved and cared for as my own for 6 years, was not biologically mine. It was a devastating blow that shook me to my core. That night, after making sure my son was asleep, I confronted my wife with the undeniable proof in hand. She was visibly shocked and demanded to know how I found out. I chose not to reveal that her own sister had confided in me, though it wouldn't take long for her to piece it together. The revelation led to a painful conversation where I expressed my desire for a divorce. My wife was crushed and pleaded with me, insisting she had been faithful since the incident 6 years ago. She blamed alcohol for clouding her judgment that night. Amidst the emotional turmoil, she dropped a bombshell: she threatened to pursue full custody of our son. In my hurt and frustration, I rashly agreed, telling her she could have him while I would keep our 2 dogs, who had been with us since they were puppies. She tried to convince me to reconsider, arguing that I was the only father our son had known and urging me to continue being there for him. However, my emotions were raw, and I couldn't see past the sense of betrayal and loss that overwhelmed me. In a moment of anger and pain, I lashed out at her and even at the child, saying hurtful things that I now deeply regret. It was a moment of weakness, born out of the intense emotions swirling within me. As we navigate the process of divorce and separation, I cling to the decision I made, believing it to be the best path forward amidst the shattered pieces of what was once our family. The dogs, loyal and steady companions, now offer a semblance of comfort and stability in the midst of this tumultuous time. It's been a full week since everything turned upside down. I've been spending my days back at home, which is in my name because my parents gifted it to me. Meanwhile, my wife took our son and went to stay with her parents. Since the night I yelled at her, she hasn't called me. It was the first time I've ever raised my voice like that, and I know it must have deeply affected her. I've been talking a lot with my parents about everything that's happened. My dad reassured me that asking for a divorce and not wanting to raise a child who isn't biologically mine was the right decision. I agree with him logically, but emotionally, it's still really tough. My younger brother suggested I come here to keep myself occupied. I've started seeing a therapist regularly, 3 times a week. They've been helping me navigate through this difficult time. They told me that by taking the step to let go of what's been causing me so much pain, I've already made progress. Despite that, it's still a painful process because it feels like my whole family has fallen apart. Each day brings its own challenges. I find myself reflecting a lot on the life I had envisioned, the plans we made together, and how suddenly everything has changed. The house feels empty without them, even though I still have our 2 dogs for company. I'm trying to take each day as it comes, focusing on healing and finding a way forward. It's a roller coaster of emotions, grief, anger, confusion, but I'm learning to lean on the support of my family, therapist, and friends. They remind me that I'm not alone in this journey of rebuilding my life. While the pain is still raw and the future uncertain, I'm holding on to the hope that with time and support, I'll find a new sense of peace and direction. My sister-in-law confided in me because she felt overwhelmed with guilt. She couldn't bear seeing me happy with my son, knowing there was a possibility he wasn't biologically mine. When we visited her recently, her guilt reached a breaking point, and she decided to tell me the truth. I'm not sure how genuine her guilt is, but her revelation has stirred up a storm of emotions in me. Right now, I'm grappling with intense feelings of anger towards my wife and a mix of pain and resentment towards the child. It's a tough situation to navigate, but I'm trying to focus on moving forward. As we move towards divorce, I hope everything goes smoothly. Thankfully, We have separate finances and properties, which should simplify things. If my wife decides to seek child support, I have concrete proof that he isn't my biological child. According to my lawyer, this should be more than enough to handle any legal challenges related to child support. My therapist has been a crucial support during this time. They've advised me to take a step back from seeing both my wife and the child. Their recommendation is for me to prioritize my own well-being first, regardless of how the child may feel about it. They emphasize that accepting the reality that the child is no longer my responsibility is essential for my own healing and moving forward. Each day brings its own challenges. I'm trying to process my emotions and find a way to rebuild my life. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, but I'm hopeful that with time and support, I'll be able to find peace and clarity. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.